How's it going, guys? Brandon with Electrical Specialist. Coming to you today to talk about the 6 things that your electrician wishes you knew. So we'll go ahead and get started with number 1, testing GFIs. Did you know that your GFIs are supposed to be tested monthly? If you were to buy a pack of these and read on there, in fact, I think it says in the fine print, by the manufacturer, they're supposed to be tested monthly to make sure they're working correctly. What happens a lot is we get calls, people say they don't have power in the bathroom, the garage, kitchen, places we know there should be a GFI. We try to explain over the phone, let's check first. Would you walk around with me on the phone and see if we can reset some GFIs? Sometimes they understand, sometimes they don't, but a lot of times we get there, boom, hit the button, it's good to go. That's something you can do yourself. Something that happens a lot is just because the GFI is working doesn't mean that it's good. Sometimes it'll still let you plug in your hairdryer in the bathroom, but you can't press the button. What that means is normally it feeds out to another plug like the other bathroom. That plug won't be working, but this one will, so you'll think, well, this is working properly. It's not. So if you test that button every month and that doesn't push in or pop out like it's supposed to, it needs replaced. Number 2 thing your electrician wishes you knew. Smoke detectors expire. Let me take this dust cover off of here. By the way, if you're building a new house or doing any construction, your contractor should leave these dust covers on here so they don't get ruined during the construction process, because there is a little screen in there that can get dirty. But back to the point, smoke detectors do expire. They're actually, they have a lifespan about 8 to 10 years depending on the manufacturer. They have a little screen in the middle, like I was saying, that collects dust. That's actually how it sees the smoke. So as it gets old, it really just goes bad. Something else people don't know is that when they walk in a house, like almost all of ours, and see a yellowish smoke detector, it's not just because it's old and that was the style. The manufacturers actually have to put a spray coat on here of paint that turns yellowish after 8 to 10 years, so you get tired of looking at it and replace it, not even knowing that you're doing yourself a favor. So pull your smoke detector down. There's a date on it. There should be one written on the side if somebody installed it correctly. But either way, find out if they're expired. It's an easy way to make your home a lot safer. Number 3 thing your electrician wishes you knew. You can't just replace a 2-prong plug with a 3-prong plug. There's many reasons for this. I actually have a couple videos, I believe, on the YouTube page here that will help explain exactly why you can't do this, but what you can do. There are several options. But this guy doesn't have a ground. It's just a hot and neutral. That knob and tube they had back in the 50s and 60s worked just fine, but there's no ground screw on this for a reason. You can't go then put in one of these, plug in your vacuum cleaner with the ground on there thinking it's grounded. Many bad things can happen. Let's just make sure we don't go from one to the next. If you need any more information, reach out to me or watch the video. Number 4 thing your electrician wishes you knew. Just because the wire is white or black doesn't mean that it's hot or neutral. And what I mean by that is your typical switch. This can happen in outlets, but it happens a lot in switches. You'll open up a switch, you'll see that it has a hot and neutral. This is especially for you DIYers, not DUIers, DIYers, who like to do your own stuff. You'll say, oh, I've got a neutral in there. That's not a neutral, that's a switch leg. So you're trying to jump off of it to feed a plug. Lots of bad things can happen in there. That's a fire hazard. You have to know what these wires do. Not every good electrician will label their wires, but not every person that's kind of dabbling will. So you have to know what these wires are. Just because it's white doesn't mean something. Just because it's black doesn't mean something. So especially in your 3-way switches, where you've got 2 contacts on this side and contacts there, you've got travelers. Those are never going to be neutrals. You're going to see a lot of whites landed on 3-way switches that are not neutrals. They're supposed to be taped black. Not everybody does it. Good electricians do. But just know that just because you see a white and a black does not mean hot and neutral. Number 5 thing your electrician wishes you knew. When a breaker trips, let's see if you this way. It's okay to reset it once, but if it trips twice, don't keep resetting it. There's actually spring and magnets in here, and they start going bad if you keep resetting them. Also, the reason it's tripping is to save your house and your life and stop a fire. So when it trips, it's a good thing. It's allowing you to take advantage of the opportunity to find out what's wrong and fix it before something bad happens. So yes, there are nuisance tripping sometimes, especially with arc fault and ground fault breakers, which are in newer homes. But for most of the time, if your breaker trips, go ahead and reset it once. If it trips twice, call an electrician. Number 6 thing your electrician wishes you knew. Bubble covers don't protect anything. The only thing they protect is the plug when it's closed. As soon as you open the plug and plug that in here, what do you think happens when it rains or anything happens to it or water splashes on it from a puddle? You just have an exposed plug. Hopefully you've got a GFI in there to protect you, but if you don't, it could spell big trouble. But I would not suggest putting these anywhere that doesn't have a very covered awning on it, like a porch. They're okay on a porch if it's not going to get direct rain. But other than that, what you need is an in-use cover or a bubble cover. This allows you to plug in whatever you want to plug in, an extension cord, a device, and shut the cover, and it can be in pouring rain and be just fine. Granted, we hope it has a GFI in it as well, because sometimes the moisture does get inside there up by the plug, but for the most part, it keeps it out of harm's way. You definitely want these anywhere that you're going to plug in something and leave it plugged in. Hey, if you guys have any comments that you'd like or any questions about any of this stuff, please leave it down in the comments. Get a hold of us. We'd be happy to answer any questions you have, or if you have any topics that you'd like to talk about, let us know. We're always looking for more stuff that can be more helpful. Please like and subscribe so we can share and get this stuff out to more people and help as many as we can and add value. So have a good day, guys. Thank you.